Hey guys, Senior Consultant Tom and Annie Daidone. We're putting this video together just to make certain things a little clearer. I know when people join Ambit, the first thing they're thinking about is that they're in the energy business. And hopefully with this presentation, you'll understand why we say we're in the people business. It's a very simple concept. You see, what Ambit does is it asks us to go out and get loyal customers, and only a handful. So what I want to do is the definition of a loyal customer in this presentation, just to give you an idea where you should be mindset with growing your Ambit business. Let's get started. See, here's the marketing model. Ambit's in the energy business, not us. What we are consultants. And what do? We go out and gather a handful of loyal customers, and we get paid for that. But what Ambit asks us to do is just to do two things: gather a handful of loyal customers, people who know, love, and trust us, and help others to do the same. Let me tell you why you don't want to be in sales, because I'm going to give you the definition of it. See, a sale is the act of selling a product or a service in return for money or other compensation. See, we never take any money from our customers. What's the definition of a customer? It's a buyer of goods and services. And what we're doing is not selling them gas and electric. We're just showing our family and friends how to get it for less, right? When you're selling, someone's looking to get a higher dollar and someone else is trying to get to pay for that service or product for less. The definition of a salesperson is in the act of selling a product or a service in return for money and other compensation. Now, as these pictures depict, we never collect money, so we're not selling anything. We're not negotiating anything. We're not asking anyone to sign a contract. And 95% of people in this world don't sell, don't want to sell, don't like to sell. And I'll give you an example on that. You're going to go out and buy a brand new suit. You're going to attend a wedding in a couple of weeks. You walk into your favorite department store. The first thing that happens is a salesperson approaches you. The first question out of his mouth is, "Can I help you?" And I guarantee what you say is, "No, I'm just looking." People don't like to be sold. So when you start getting into a selling mode, people start getting into a buying mode and start looking to negotiate and look at what the price is. We are not in sales. In any of the websites or trainings, does it ever mention to sell energy? Are specific rates ever mentioned? Do we ever take money from our customers? We ask people to just do us a favor and try the service. And if they're not happy, they can go back to where they came from. Now, let me give you a definition of a loyal customer. See, someone that's faithful to a private person or to whom fidelity is due, faithful to a cause, if it's a charity or something that's dear to you, that people will go out beyond their own personal self to go out and do a favor for someone for a charity or a cause. Showing faithfulness or commitment or vows allegiance or obligation to someone, that's loyal conduct. That's going out of their way and doing something for someone. Now let me show you what a definition of a rate is. See, rate is based on mathematics. It's a specific kind of ratio in which two measurements are related to each other. And rates are subject to change. So the last thing you want to start doing is go out and selling energy based on a rate. Let me give you a couple of examples. See, this energy company is trying to acquire JetBlue's loyal customers by offering them travel points, not rates. What this energy company has figured out, if you're a frequent flyer with JetBlue, that means you're pretty much a loyal customer. So they're giving you an additional 5,000 points to switch over their energy bill with them. American Airlines doing the same thing. They're trying to take advantage of a loyal customer that frequents American Airlines. Not based on rates, because they're loyal customers to them. Now, let me tell you what happens when it comes down to rates. Fidelity purchased with money or incentives. Money or incentives can destroy. That's not a loyal customer. You see, if you're driving down a major highway and a furniture store says stop in and save, you've never went to this store, but you see the sign and you go in. You might not even be looking for that particular piece of furniture, but because it said sale or come in and save, you might stop in there. You're not a loyal customer. You're cherry picking them. What if you receive a gift card in the mail from someone? You've been a Dunkin' Donuts customer for 25 years, but for Christmas, the guy next door, because you shovel his snow, sends you a $50 Starbucks gift certificate. And all of a sudden you go and say, why not? It's $50. I'm going to go out and use it. But when you're done with that $50, unless you now decide that you like Starbucks better, I guarantee you'll go back to Dunkin' Donuts. You're not a loyal customer. You were bought with an incentive, and then it was destroyed by the same thing. Now, acquiring a customer based on rates and incentives. See, Ambit gives us all these incentive programs. Ambit Energy is in the business of selling energy, and it's decided to market its service by means of personal relationship, basically going to friends and family. They provide us with incentive programs. 3-day, 2-night gift for just enrolling as a customer. Travel points for every therm kilowatt that you can trade in for travel, airline tickets, or vacations. 5 customers, you get a 5-day trip. 15 customers, you get credit or free energy on your bill. If that customer or yourself as a consultant go out and get 15 customers. And competitive rates. You see, but we never ever talk about this stuff until after someone becomes a customer, not before. Because if you acquire that customer based on these incentives, what if Ambit just took away the travel points tomorrow? And people based their selection of becoming a customer based on the travel points, that person might leave. So that person is doing you a favor because you started a brand new energy business and you'd like them to become a customer. Acquiring a customer based on rates and incentive, that's not a loyal customer. Basically, someone made a decision based on information you gave them. They didn't do you a favor. We're not in the energy business. We're in the favor business. Well, what does that mean? Well, look at it this way. If you started any business and you wanted to get your family and friends to at least come over and try whatever service or product you're selling, wouldn't you expect them to do that, to at least try it? Well, Ambit's no different. So we started a brand new energy business, okay? We started a brand new business. And it would really mean a lot to me if you would become my first customer, Grandma. It won't cost you anything. It won't inconvenience you, and nothing will change. And it'll save you some money. But more importantly, it'll mean a lot to me and my family. Will you please try the service? And if you're not interested, I'll help you get back to public service or National Grid or Con Edison. You see, the definition of a favor is something done or granted out of goodwill, excessive kindness, or unfair partiality or preferential treatment. To treat someone with a favor and others with neglect, that means if other energy company sends a $50 gift certificate to Grandma, they're not going to switch back to public service or to whatever company is out there trying to gather customers based on incentives. You gathered that customer because your grandmother wanted to do an act of goodwill and give you their energy bill. So please don't misunderstand that. Now, who have you done a favor for? You know, who owes me a favor? You owe me a favor. I've shoveled your walk when it snowed, Grandma, or your next door neighbor, or I've mowed the lawn, or the gentleman up on the right that's sinking underneath those bills. It was a cousin that you lent them a couple of $1,000s because they were having hard times. When you approach people that you've done a favor for, it's a lot easier to ask a favor. But here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to go out to someone that you haven't done a favor for and ask them to do you a favor. Now, a favor based on a strong why. You know, when you go to Grandma and say, Grandma, you know I'm in debt. I'm having a problem paying my mortgage, or I'm not sure I'm going to get my child to college. And by you becoming my first customer or my second customer, whatever customer it might be, it'll mean a lot to me and it'll help me achieve my goals. People will do you a favor if the why is strong. You know, you can't go to someone and say, I'm tired of driving a Maserati. I just started a new energy business so I can buy a Ferrari. That's not a good why. No one is going to do you any favor for that, trust me. Who do you do business with? Now, this is real simple. You see, if you've been going to a hairdresser or your insurance guy or a pizza guy, and you've been going for years or a week or a month, whoever it is, your money's green. And when you do business with someone, they should do business with you. So that doesn't become a favor. That becomes a request. You walk into the pizza guy and say, Tony, I've been coming here for 10 years, and do you value my business? Yeah, well, and I value your service and your food and everything. But listen, I started a brand new business, and it'll mean a lot to me if you would now do business with me. Well, what do you mean, Tom? Well, I started an energy business. It's going to save you a couple of dollars, but more importantly, it'll show me how much you appreciate the fact that I'm doing business with you. So, and if the person that you've been doing business with doesn't want to become your customer, then go out and find a new place to buy your pizza, but ask them for the same thing. Okay? Someone else will want your business, and then they'll give you theirs. Don't ask for a favor if you don't deserve one. Okay? Rudy, you come to ask for me for a favor. Well, you still haven't paid back the last one. So the last thing you want to do is go to the Don and ask him for a favor if you haven't paid your dues. Now, here's how I want you to look at this, okay? For 3 generations, your family's been going to a local corner pizzeria. You decide to open up a pizzeria on the opposite corner. You've copied everything that corner pizzeria that your family's been going to for 50 years. Everything. The sauce is the same. The dough is the same. The cheese is the same. The ambiance is the same. Everything. It's the same thing, okay? And then you call up your family and you surprise them and say, listen, I want you to come across the street. Well, for what? Well, you know that pizzeria that's being worked on? I want to surprise you. That's mine. I want you to come over and try my food. I want you to try my pizza. And of course, if you're not happy, you can go back to the other corner that you've been going to for 50 years. But I would imagine you would expect your family to come at least try your food and your service. So now, even if the price of the pizza was the same as the other pizza place, the same guy, it's the same thing. John's Pizza happens to be Annie and I's favorite pizzeria on Bleecker Street in New York. And the price was identically the same. Who would you expect your family to buy from, or your friends? From you, I would hope. And if they wouldn't, I mean, how could they argue it? You see, and that's what Ambit is. Ambit's gas and electric is no different than Public Service or National Grid or Con Edison. It's the same product. It's the same. It offers the same function. It doesn't look any different. It doesn't taste any different. Nothing changes. And you're not inconveniencing your customer, because it's not they have to pay an additional bill. They still pay the same, the incumbent. They don't have to call someone else to fix their lines. If the power goes out, they still call the incumbent. The same people come out and read the meter. Nothing changes. If you have a worry-free plan, it's the same thing. So, but you have to learn how to approach your friends and family. You see, if you had to go out and try to solicit people that don't know you to buy energy from you, that becomes a sale. That becomes rates. That becomes you being an expert in the business. That comparing rates and looking at the bills and understanding what the charges are. There's nowhere in the presentation, there's nowhere in the trainings, from Top Ambit Leader to Ambit University, the ecfactory.com, in none of the trainings, in the starter kit that we receive after 5 to 7 days, that says you're a salesperson, go out and sell energy and get as many customers as you possibly can, okay? To gather some customers by default, after you've made your list of everyone you know, and you know there's a couple of people, and you know, we say not to prejudge. We know if someone that's 80 years old, grandma's not interested in becoming a marketing consultant. So go out and quickly get those 3, 4, 5 people that you know because of their age, or I can't even say because they're retired and wealthy and they don't need it. You never know. Somebody could be very wealthy and bored. So as soon as you get those first couple of customers, the rest of the people, what you want to do is go show the video. Show the video and get an expert on the phone to answer the questions. And if they're not interested, become a customer. It's that simple. Now, remember, we only need 20 customer points to promote, all the way up to national consultant. Your website counts as 2. Yourself, a couple of family members, you've got promoted to regional consultant. A couple of more of those, and you become a senior. A couple of more of those, you become an executive. And a couple of more of those, you're qualified to become a national consultant and get all the compensation from the compensation plan, to get all the residual income. So you only need 15 gas and 15 electric to get credit or free energy. So please take out of your mindset that you're in the energy business. You're in the people business. We're purely going out and asking a few people that know, love, and trust us to try our service. And if they're not happy, they could always go back to where they started from. So hopefully this explains what a loyal customer is, how you should approach it and attack it. And we wish you great luck, and I'm sure we'll see you at the top. Thanks.